Hey, what's up, JoJo in the morning? I hope you are having an absolute amazing day. All right. Hey, I want to talk to you about a little self-evaluation. All right, self-evaluation. You know that I have a mentoring program, and in our mentoring program, I get to talk to a lot of different people in a lot of different walks of life. Some are, older, some are younger, some are married, some are single, um, different people from around the world, mostly from America, but we got people from around the world, a lot of different geographical locations. Northerners and Southerners talk different, okay? A lot of different ethnic backgrounds, a lot of different generations, and the biggest difference in people is where their mindset is. Also, we have a ministry network, and then a lot of times people that watch, JoJo in the morning will ask me for prayer, and we'll get on a call, and I'll just kind of help talk through some things with them, try to help them out. And the first 30 seconds somebody's talking, I can gauge where they are because of their mindset and the way that they talk. I remember one day I was talking to my apostle, and he said, "Hey man, tell me how it's going." Within the first 15 seconds, he started laughing. I said, "Apostle, why are you laughing?" He said, "'Cause you sound so good today. You sound so good." And I said, "All right." I remember one time I was talking to somebody in our apostolic ministry network. Same thing. Talked about 30 seconds. I started laughing. They said, "Why are you laughing, Apostle?" And I said, "I'll tell you why. Because 2 years ago, when we started talking, you were negative. I feel this way. I feel this way. I feel this way. Now you're like, conquer and divide. We're more than conquerors. Every time I talk to you, how's it going? Good. Things are good. We're focused. We're moving on this, moving on this. This is accelerating." And so the funny thing is, recently I was talking to somebody under the age of 35 and talking to somebody over the age of 70. And they flipped how they should be talking. Talked to the 35-year-old. "How's it going?" "Pretty good. I have like one main successful business, but I have three smaller businesses that are very successful. I got two more business endeavors, and it just everything was just basically, they look like they got the perfect life going. Just great marriage, kids are great, finances are through the roof, serving God, hearing from God, moving in everything they're called to, just complete success and winning." This person I was talking to in the 70s, they were like, "Well, I just kind of feel like this. I kind of feel like that. I just kind of feel like this, and I don't know." And I asked them, I'm like, "Hey, how are you going on the last two things God said?" And they weren't moving on anything. And I told them, I said, "Hey, let's really look at where you are at this point in your life. Like, you don't have 50 years to get things accomplished." And, this person I was talking to, they opened up about where they were on everything, and their mindset was in a place that wasn't the best, but they've never had anybody to challenge them on their mindset. And that's what I want to do with you today. I want to challenge you. The other day I was meeting with somebody, they're not a part of our church or mentoring or anything. And when they were talking, I was just looking at them like, you have no clue of who you are, where you're going, what you're doing, finances, and they're married with kids. I mean, they had no clue of anything. And then the next person I talked to, I wanted to get my pen and paper out while they were talking. I just wanted to write notes. I just want to be like, keep talking, keep talking. How do you have polar opposites? It is the mindset. It is I heard hang on, what was that phrase? Oh, the phrase was, you'll be the same person in 5 years besides two things. Now, this was a non-spiritual person saying this. Or they may have been spiritual, but they were in a business atmosphere. You'll be the same person in 5 years besides two things: the books that you read and the people that you let influence your life. You got to get around wise thinkers. I've been around some people in my life that I see their life and I see what they do and what they don't do, and I can learn and gauge from it. I'm a student. I'm a student of life, okay? First of all, I'm a student of the Word of God. I love prayer, and that's how I build my mind. But like right over here on my desk, I got a bunch of different books. I've got some books about business. I got about 50-50. I got about, books about, I've always got books on prayer, okay? That's what, majority of books I read are about prayer. I just love prayer. But I put myself around people that strengthen my mind. There's a few people that I listen to, like on weekly podcast, and they bring on brilliant minds. I remember when I was doing a podcast for Charisma about 3 years ago, and I would bring on different types of people in the apostolic prophetic movements, and I would just glean from those podcast interviews I would do, and I'm telling you, it is your mindset determines your day. Your mindset determines your day. My wife, I counted, she has 1,214 things that I like about her. I'm just kidding, I didn't count, but it's probably more than that. But when she wakes up every morning, she is the same every morning. She goes into her office, not her office chair, but she has another chair she sits in, and she reads the Bible, journals, and usually reads a few pages in like 2 different books. Probably something by Terry Savelle Foy is one of them. But she reads spiritual books and she reads mindset books. Every day, that's how she starts her day. Puts her mind in the right place. In the mornings when I go to the place of prayer. And I sit down and I pray. I get my mind straight. Throughout the day, I'm listening. Listen, everything that I listen to, is pointing my mind straight, points my mind forward, points my mind going into the things that God has for me. And what gets me is I talk to people who are 50, 60, 70, even 80. And I start talking about mindset, stuff that kind of challenges some people. They look at me kind of, you know how you got to turn your head sideways and kind of do your eyes like that? They're like, I've never heard anybody talk about this in my life. They just kind of got around whoever they got around and never changed. And so, recently I've been able to talk to some business leaders and some stuff. And when I was talking to them, I felt like I was speaking to a room full of sponges. They were soaking up everything, and I was like, whoa. That's why I love preaching at Roar Church, Texarkana. Almost everybody that comes here, they say this is some of the hungriest people I've ever been around. I had a friend here who preached a long message, and it was good. I mean, he preached over an hour and just kept on rolling. He said, no matter what I said, they kept pulling on me. He said, your church, the people, their mindset, they're so hungry for the things of the Lord. What am I talking about today? Joe Joe in the Morning family. I'm talking about your mindset. Your mindset will determine your outcome. You know, if I'm pouring out a gallon of water and you have a 4-ounce cup, that's all you can hold. 20-ounce cup, that's all you can hold. You know, you gotta. A lot of people in life, they have goals, they have dreams. They're wanting to take action on them, but your mindset will determine your action and even your outcome before you start. I remember one of my favorite stories to tell. I was preaching, the old traditional revival, Sunday morning, Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And if the Holy Ghost was moving, we would extend it to nights. And I remember we used to do those, and all my meetings would extend. And I remember one time I went 20 days in a row. I think we had like 23 services in like 20 days, man. I was rolling. But I was at this church, and at the end, we had altar, and I just said, stop. I feel God saying He wants to heal some people. If you need healing, come to the front. 20 people came up. Pastor came over there, and he said, Joe Joe, if 3 or 4 of these people get healed, this revival's about to take off. I looked at him, I said, sir, if 3 or 4 out of 20 people get healed, I'm quitting what I do. I said, I'm going for 21 out of 20. And he just looked at me. I said, yeah, somebody's going to catch an overflow that didn't come up. But I think it was like 19 out of 20 got healed right then. And then 3 days later, the other one said that their healing manifested. But I was my mindset was everybody. Now the pastor, bless him, great man of God. But he'd never been around people that taught him go for 20 for 20. I was talking to somebody, man, just pray for me, Joe. Just pray that I'm talking about I remember when this couple was as sweet and kind, just precious couple, a few little kids. And they were like, just pray God blesses us and we can, keep food on the table, pay our bills. And I said, that's good and all, but what about abundance? What if God blessed you and you could pay for everything and you could sow into people into your community that weren't as blessed as you? What if you could sow an extra $100 a month into a battered women's shelter, $100 a month into an orphanage, $100 a month into a homeless shelter? They were like, whoa, now that would be awesome. I said, do you know how good it makes you feel when you know that you're sowing into people who can't do one thing for you? How would you feel to sow $200 a month, $500 a month to a ministry that you glean from on a podcast or a YouTube channel? How would you feel if you could? And they were like, whoa, open their mind up. They've never been around abundance. Actually, I just did a prophetic word on abundance earlier this week. I'm telling you guys, it's all on your mindset. I remember one day I was talking to some people. We got a few people in our neighborhood that they do drive cars, but they mainly fly helicopters. And I was just talking to one of them, and they were just talking to me about their life and their business and their ministries that they do. And their mindset was so vast in areas that I really hadn't ever thought in. I was looking at them just like, man, I've never thought about what you're talking about to that degree. Like, you are stretching my mindset. And I like to tell people I really don't have limits, but you have proved that I have limits that need help. Like, sometimes my wife, when she starts dreaming, she scares me sometimes. I mean, she's a dreamer. And she starts dreaming. And it's so funny because this is how we are. Like, we're in our backyard, and she's like, oh, and I can see this and this. And the whole time my mind is calculating. And then she just looks at me and says, well, that's my dream. We'll figure it out. Let's go make the money. Let's make some things happen. My wife loves having people over, hospitality. She loves having people over. She'll find an excuse to have people over. So we have people from our health coaching business over about 2-3 times a month. We have people from our church over for just different things. And so she creates her house knowing it's for our family and invite friends over to love life. And so she's a dreamer. And my kids are dreamers. My wife and kids don't have a poverty spirit. I'll just say that, okay? And think big. I'm talking about life. I'm talking about giving, missions, businesses. We're doing stuff I never thought we could do. And the Lord's been telling me, you're just now starting. Get around bigger thinkers. So God has been putting me around bigger thinkers. Just creating more and more and more. And I want to release that to you today. Think bigger. No limitations. And one of the sad things is generation to generation to generation to generation can pass down limited beliefs, or they can pass down limitless beliefs. You know, I remember I was preaching a conference one time, and they had encouraged people to bring lost people. And one of the guys was like, man, I believe we're going to have, 5-6 people get saved tonight. One other guy said, man, I was kind of thinking about 20. And I was kind of like, I don't know. There's a lot of people here, and we told everybody to bring unsaved people. Let's don't put a limit on it. I mean, let's see something. And I remember I was at a meeting, one pretty big meeting, and I said, hey, look, we're going to believe for some salvations, like first-time salvations. And I told the people that were holding the conference, I said, get your little, cards ready so you can follow up on them, because they don't just need to come up and get saved. They need somebody to disciple them, win souls, make disciples, okay? And so we hadn't even started altar, and they were out of cards. And I said, hey, y'all didn't set y'all's expectations, okay? Y'all didn't set y'all's expectations, because we're going for more. And I've been guilty. I've been guilty. I remember one time I was at one of those churches, they had the little, when somebody gets slain in the spirit, the little cloth they put on them, which we got in our church. And they said, I'm feeling that God's going to move tonight in this revival. Brother Joe, you go get the I forgot what they even call them, the little blankets they put on them. And I went and got some. Boy, I think first 10 people that came to the altar, 12 of them got slain in the spirit. I only got like 10 of those little sheet things. And so men were taking off their coat. If you ever were part of a Pentecostal church, you know what I'm talking. They'd throw their coat over them. They said, we thought we told you to get some sheets. I was brand new into, I just started going to a church, and I wasn't used to all this stuff. And I'm like, I didn't know. I had limited belief. I learned real quick. It's just like in anything you do, don't limit God. I remember I got in a business one time, and it was our health coaching business. And right when I got in, the Holy Spirit spoke to me. He said, never focus on the money, always focus on people. And I thought, whoa, you're telling me that this thing's about to explode. If you're telling me, focus on people and I'll take care of everything, the financial side of everything. I knew what that meant. I told my wife that, and she's like, this thing's about to grow. Man, it did. I mean, it exploded on us. That was over 4 years ago. But I've been done other businesses that were kind of small, but I didn't know that in 18 months, 2 years, I could have a multi-million-dollar business explode like that. And we did. But it challenged me to not think small. When I started our social media, I never thought things would get to where they are now. And so your limiting belief or limitless belief is a direct reflection of the outcome. See, your perspective creates the action step that you have towards what you're doing, which creates the result, which is embedded in your mind, the mindset that you have. And a lot of times you have to change your mindset or things are never going to change. That's what I want to give you today. It's your mindset. I was talking to somebody locally, and they're like 84, 85, and I was just talking to them the other day, and I was just staring at them thinking, like, how in the world can you have served God your whole life and not have a clue what the kingdom is about, the expansion of the kingdom mindset, or know anything about abundance? And we were talking, and I'm super kind when I talk to people, and they were like, God's been good to me. I said, that's what I'm talking about. I love talking to this person. They're so kind. I've always had a roof over my head. And I'm like, that's great. My mind's thinking, well, I got a roof on my head, but I want to help provide roofs for other people. Always had enough food to eat. And I think, I got enough food to eat, but I want to provide a lot of other people food to eat. I want to provide for orphanages and widows and people who are struggling. And everything was inward. And they are the most humble person. But it was, I've always had a roof. I've always had food. I've always had a friend. And it was I. They never caught the glimpse of the abundance of God to provide for so many other people because of a limiting mindset. When I do our mentoring program, first thing I want to talk about is mindset. Mindset. Shifts everything. Love you guys. If you know anything about it, you can go to the website, joejoedawson.net. You can email me if you have any questions. I've talked about our health program, talked about our mentoring program, any of that stuff you want information on. If you want prayer, go to the website. There's a place for prayer. Send me a prayer request. I'll pray for you. Love you guys, and we want to help people move forward in life. Love y'all.